Welcome everyone to Old Roommates. Today on the show, we revisit 1992's Sister Act. So, Alma baby, turn up your hearing aid because this revisit is about to begin.
Welcome, everyone, to Old Roommates, the only podcast that revisits pop culture through a middle-aged lens. This is Christina.
And this is Brian.
And we are revisiting Sister Act, starring Whoopi Goldberg herself, and Kathy Najimy, who I kind of forgot was in it, which was such a wonderful little surprise, if you will. Brian, we're going to begin this episode as we always do.
Yep.
And I want to know your history with Sister Act. When was the first time you watched Sister Act?
It was, I believe, absolutely on VHS.
God, I believe absolutely. What the hell? Make a choice.
I'm pretty sure it was on video.
Okay.
And of course it was, this movie made a jillion dollars. And I don't think I saw it in the movie theater, but I loved this movie with the exception of one thing back then. And I probably have seen it like 3 or 4 times way back when. I haven't seen this movie in what year is it? Probably 20 something years.
Yeah.
So, but the one thing that I didn't care for was Maggie Smith as Mother Superior.
Interesting.
Because I felt she was playing it too straight. I felt she was such a buzzkill. Like, I found there was no joy. Like, it wasn't like she was a comical foil in Whoopi's plans. She just seemed so sour and just unpleasant. But ultimately, I really have always loved this movie, but I hadn't seen it in a very long time. But I think all the musical numbers, fantastic. When I think about Sister Act, I think most people do. That's what I think of. When they did My God, so great. And then I Will Follow Him, beautiful beginning on that. And I remember that so vividly. But I think all in all, I really loved it back then, except for Maggie Smith. How about you?
Interesting. Yeah. So I also really liked this movie. I think I saw it also on either video or HBO. I think I watched a lot of HBO back in the day because I feel like a lot of these movies were just on HBO, but I have not seen it since. I saw it a couple of times back then probably, but I really enjoyed it. I loved the joyfulness of it. And it was funny and it was a little unpredictable. I guess it's a little predictable too, but I liked the character of Dolores. Just everybody was very, very likable. Maggie Smith did not bother me. I felt like it was sort of necessary to have that because everybody else liked her. Everybody else was positive and fun. Even the cop was flirtatious and fun. Even the bad guys weren't that serious. Yeah. But I felt
but back then I almost wanted her to play it up more because
it was just too.
It was almost too
subtle?
serious. No, it was too serious. It was I'm trying to think of a line she would say, but it was it could have been Sister Mary Claire. she could have been a little unraveled, a little unhinged. But no, she was completely dead serious, and I just kind of was this is a little mismatched for this movie.
Well, we can talk about it.
We'll talk about it. Yeah.
And then now. But yes, I actually did. I really liked the movie. Yeah. I thought it was great. And I hadn't really seen much like that before. I meant to look up. Well, we can talk about it now. Yeah. So what about now? When did you revisit
it? So this is kind of funny. I talked about this phenomenon before where I'm watching a movie and my cat joins me.
That cat boy.
Ferris. My cat Ferris.
We need to have him on. We used to have Shorty on every once in a while.
He loves me so much that he will truly wrap himself up in my arm like a monkey, and therefore I can't take notes. So I sometimes have to watch movies twice. So I'm rewatching a rewatch and a rewatch. So basically, but with Sister Act, that is what happened. About halfway through, and so I had to essentially watch it twice. But I just a few days ago. 3 or 4 days ago, yeah. How about you?
Same.
Yeah.
I also have an orange tabby cat who is very affectionate, but I can just take notes and he'll just lay on my lap.
Yeah, that's not Ferris. Ferris needs full attention. And if he sees me writing, he thinks it's a game called Knock the Pen Out of My Hand.
Yeah.
But
so what were your initial thoughts about your rewatch?
Oh my God. I'm going to say, so middle-aged lens. I've never found Harvey Keitel sexy.
Oh my God. This happens so often with you. You're like, wow, he was actually pretty hot.
I'm telling you, you know, like we talked about this before, where when you're like, you know, when you're young and an older person, like even if it's your family member,
Right.
like, oh, what?
Are you saying you're attracted to some of your family
No,
members?
I'm talking the other way around. No, the other way around. Where it's like when you're like, say, like, 20-something years old, and you see someone who's like 80 years old, like, oh, what a handsome young man. You know, even you could look like, you know, I mean, not attractive but like somehow older people are like, oh, what a beautiful girl.
Yes.
It's like, really?
It's like, no.
But
is that like a face only a mother could love?
We talked about this with Some Kind of Wonderful,
yes.
where I never thought Eric Stoltz was remotely attractive in that movie, but I was like, damn, now, like sensibilities wise, his style and everything else in Some Kind of Wonderful, he's really cute. And then with Harvey Keitel, I think just because I'm in my 50s now, he's probably in his 50s, I would argue, 40s in this movie.
Maybe 40s, yeah.
But I was like, ooh, okay, I understand. But
yes,
never. But
because you hear about people saying, "Oh, he's so handsome," and you're like,
not
"No."
I would never say the sentence before my sister had rewatch. Harvey Keitel is pretty sexy. I would never say those words. Yeah.
No, I would never either.
I was just like, I was kind of a bit captivated by his character because he's so macho that it's almost like I could see why Dolores Van Cartier would like him.
Oh, for sure.
He is pretty sexy. He's powerful.
Very confident.
And you almost feel safe.
Yes.
Like until you're on his bad side and then you're dead.
Right. And when she started with him, I don't think it was very clear that he was actually as bad as he is. Right. I mean, he was cheating on his wife. That was why he was bad, I think, to her. Right. I don't think she understood like the severity of his crimes.
Yeah, intensity, yeah. But I did say I do like that fight scene. So it actually starts off with a musical number. And Jennifer Lewis is one of the backup singers, and she's hilarious.
Oh, gosh, yes.
But when Whoopi and Harvey Keitel have that fight, it feels so real to me. It's like when he's saying, oh, yeah, and she's like, yeah, nothing. It's like, oh shit! Like, this is something she has heard this song before.
Yes,
and I love that in movies where when you feel that the couple has been together so long, they know exactly how to fight with each other, and they know exactly what to expect, and it doesn't always happen. And so I really appreciated their dynamic. I appreciated his performance, and it's just so funny in the beginning with Whoopi, and she's like, you guys don't give a shit. Yeah.
She was so funny. That just the expression she was giving to the audience members, because she's playing in this casino,
like 5 people
and
there.
No one cares. They're all either gambling or just drinking,
eating,
eating, and she's just like, no one gives a shit what we're doing up here, and it doesn't really matter what I have to say. And she was really, really funny. I loved that scene. What was really funny is I was trying to explain to Emily, my daughter, what the movie was about.
Yeah.
I forgot she was a lounge singer. I don't know why I forgot about her backstory.
Oh, wow.
I thought she was more involved in the crime life. And I was like, yeah, she's kind of like a con artist. And like I had this whole made up backstory. Yeah. And then she joins the convent and sees the light or whatever. Yeah. But it was so funny. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's right. She was a lounge singer and she was actually a good guy, right? Like a good girl. But yeah, I watched it a couple of days ago as well. Mm-hmm. And I was excited to watch it just because I remember it being so up. It's like a positive, fun kind of movie. Yeah. I remember when you talked about My God, right? Yeah. I can tell you, when I hear My Girl, I think My God. I mean, come on. It was like one word that was changed in that song, and it stuck with me this whole time.
They're really beautiful musical numbers. But I want to quickly say, I laughed out loud when Jennifer Lewis, who we know from Blackish and a million other things now, she's one of the backup singers, and they're in the dressing room, and the two, Vince's boneheads run into the room, and one of them is staring at Jennifer Lewis, and she's like, "Oh, come on!" And he's like, "Oh, please, you ain't got nothing I haven't seen before." And she goes, "Yeah, stop trying to memorize it."
Yeah, I love that. That was really cute.
But then I do have a negative.
Okay,
kind of quick. Okay. Too. And it didn't bother me a million years ago. I kind of wanted a slightly darker story, at least from a music, when she's running away from them, the music is so goofy. It sounds like music you would see in like, I don't know, like what's like a little kid. Yeah, it's like, but there's bullets flying in the air, but you never feel like she's going to get shot. You never feel like she's not going to outrun music.
Scared.
There's no danger. But my problem with that though, and that's fine if that's the tone, but then the scene's too long. You don't make it this long if she's not in real danger. I just feel like it was a musical choice that I would have elevated because she has to change her life for 2 months. Like, just to go into hiding for 2 months. She's afraid for her life. And make it a little... I mean, it is menacing. It is menacing. Harvey Keitel does a great job. And she sees the shooting. They shoot him in the head. And the guys are a little too bumbling. The music's a little too goofy.
It made me feel... And I didn't look this up, and I should know. Was it PG?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's why. It was PG.
But music can... I mean, Poltergeist is PG. I know it was before PG-13.
Yes.
But you could make the music a little more suspenseful.
Maybe a little bit more suspenseful.
There's a lot of those movies in the 80s and 90s where
just Disney cartoons can be scary.
Yeah.
Maleficent is a scary witch, and there's that menacing kind of music in the background. So I agree. Yeah, you could make it a little scarier.
We did just see someone get murdered, or a little off. It was off screen.
Well, we didn't see it.
Yeah, but she saw it, and so it's like it's a bit terrifying, and the music's a little too goofy for me. That was just a negative for me.
Yeah, it didn't bother me that much, but I agree that now that I'm thinking about it, it could have been a little bit more suspenseful. But I also feel like, she didn't really seem all that scared to me either. She was scared. She was running. She was freaked out.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like she was scared for her life. She was freaked out because she saw this murder, but I'm not sure it even occurred to her. I know they're shooting at her or whatever.
She heard him say, "Waster."
Oh, she did.
That's when she threw the coats and ran. But it's a tone thing. That's all. It's a tone. To your point, it's a tone thing. I agree. She was like, it was more like an oh shit kind of running.
Yes.
Like, it wasn't like, I am scared for my
holy guacamole.
Yeah, like they're
like
pushing chefs. Yeah, they're pushing chefs out of the way and like running through the kitchen.
Yes.
And, it's goofy, but it's weird because I think that scene with Vince and the guy on his knees is a jolt. I think that's a jolt for a PG, fun, light movie. You're kind of like, oh shit, okay. And then it just got really goofy, and it's a tone choice. I don't know. It worked better for me when I was in my 20s than in my 50s.
Yes, but then you also feel like what was surprising to me is I kind of alluded to this a second ago. You never really felt like she was that scared, even when she's in the police department, right? She's reporting this crime.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, we need you as a witness and we need to hide you away. And she's like, no, I can't do it. Like, she doesn't want to do it.
Right.
And it kind of tells me, like, she just isn't that afraid, which I didn't realize before. Like, it felt more like she was afraid when I first saw it.
Yeah.
She even sneaks out into a sleazy bar, which easily her friends could be.
All right, so now you're opening up something huge.
Yeah.
She also takes upon herself to lead a choir.
Yes.
One of the most visual centers of attention you could imagine for someone. And that to her is a good idea. It's like she's supposed to be in hiding. So that is a huge...
she's out in the community outreach. Yep. And she's leading all these efforts, and she's out in public. She's on the news. There's like this nationwide broadcast of this little chapel or whatever. So yeah, to me, it never really occurred to her that she was
in real danger, right? Yeah.
She was
I think she really did love Vince, and I think she was so hurt with the fur coat thing.
Yeah.
But even at the very end, she comes right out because it's like, Dolores, and she's like, I'm right here. Leave him out of this. Let's go, Vince. And like, and there's a part of that's like, maybe she really believes that he really wouldn't have killed her.
Right.
But at least not in front of a bunch of nuns. Huge positive. Maggie Smith.
Well.
I think my favorite, through my middle age, I think my favorite thing is the relationship and the chemistry between Maggie Smith and Whoopi Goldberg.
Wow, look at you. You have grown, Brian.
I hope those two women hang out all the time. I would love to know that they're friends in real life, but they have chemistry. They're bickering. They're sort of learning of respect for each other.
Their scenes are so good together.
They're so good. They have chemistry, even when they're like fighting or disagreeing. And I just thought, like, and when they hug towards the end, I'm gonna say I think I got a little warm and tingly inside. I was like, I buy this friendship. I bought that journey.
Yep.
And I thought it was done so well. And now, through middle-aged lens, that performance makes so much more sense.
Yes,
yeah.
I agree. Again, she didn't bother me as much as she bothered you, but I really, really enjoyed their scenes together. Were great, and I really loved her whole personality. I liked that it didn't change so drastically, like you see a lot in these movies. Like, 5 minutes later, she's like, "Oh, I'm on board." She wasn't. She was ready to quit. She's like, this is not me.
Yeah.
This is not my kind of church. It's too progressive and all this. And I really love that you don't see the growth until the very, very, very end. But those scenes with the two of them together are so damn funny.
Yeah.
And I love that she's so serious, but she does have a couple of zingers, right?
Oh, God.
She's so good at...
People wish to kill you. Anyone who's met you, I imagine.
Well, then she's talking about hiding her away, and she's like, that woman is designed to stick out.
So this is funny. Original casting, you must know this, was Bette Midler.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I don't think it would have worked because Bette Midler is white. I think it's like you need someone who looks different than the rest of the white nuns. And Whoopi Goldberg in a nun outfit is just hilarious in itself.
Very, very funny.
It's great casting. I love the scene where, Whoopi's being her sassy self, Dolores, and you get this energy from Maggie Smith, and she's like, listen, she's like, before this, I had a life. I'm a singer, da-da-da. And she's like, from what I've heard, your singing career was almost non-existent, and your married lover wants you dead. If you're kidding anyone, it's only yourself. She says, God has brought you here. Take the hint.
Yeah, some of the lines are so good. At one point they say, she's saying she doesn't want her, and the priest is trying to tell. She goes, what's her name? Mother
Superior. Right?
Mother Superior. Mother Superior. You have taken a vow of hospitality. And she just goes, I lied. I also said I love Dolores. Whoopi Goldberg is so good at being mad in these characters. It's so real and it's crazy, but it's not over the top.
No,
like
I
it's really
agree.
It's such a great balance because she doesn't hold back at all, but she's not a joke. It somehow feels real the way she does it. And she's so funny when she does it. The things that she says, I don't know if any of this is improvised at all, but it wouldn't be surprising to me if it was. But I also said that I got a lot of Oda Mae vibes.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I mean,
so
there's an
similar
inherent Whoopi energy to this. Yeah. But I think it's necessary. I think it adds a lot.
I totally agree.
I actually think she has many more emotional things to do in Sister Act than Ghost.
For sure.
I mean, she's almost in every scene, I would say.
But I also liked that her adjustment to this convent, it wasn't too slapsticky. There could have been a different road to go, right? There could have been like a montage where she doesn't know how to pray, or she doesn't, she's slipping on, not knowing how to clean the floor.
She's holding the rosary beads upset. She puts her habit on backwards.
All of these,
thank
and
God.
I'm so glad that she at least has a brain.
Yeah.
And she was she wasn't happy to be there, but she was, begrudgingly doing what she needed to do.
Yeah.
She wasn't happy. She made it clear she wasn't happy, but she was still doing her stuff. So you liked her that she was at least accepting.
And she was never like openly rude, because I think like she was never like nastily hurtful. She was frustrated.
Right.
And like
the food was a little bit
the food, but
that was the worst she got.
Right. Yeah. And but she just didn't know the rules. I mean, but I much appreciate the food scene. Then, like you're saying, a montage of all these goofy, funny things. How thank God they didn't do that.
Thank God.
But right after that thing about God is bright here, take the hint. I wrote cue saxophone. They it's a somber scene, and here comes the early 90s saxophone music. Really quick, the director was Emile Ardolino. He did Dirty Dancing. He directed Dirty Dancing. Directed Chances Are.
Both of them we have rewatched. Revisited.
He did 3 Men and a Baby. And he did Sister Act, and then he sadly passed away the following year.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we talked about him in Dirty Dancing, and probably Chances Are in those episodes where he passed away of complications from AIDS. But he only made like 5 movies. But they're
look at how successful
beloved.
they were.
I know, they're like these beloved, relatively light comedic movies.
Clearly talented.
Yeah. And then we get to Kathy and Jimmy, and I just wrote A+.
Oh, Kathy Najimy is so goddamn good in this movie. Yeah. I had a smile on my face, usually laughing every friggin' second she opened her mouth. She was so fucking funny. I'm like smiling just thinking about her performance right now. So bubbly, so positive, so hilarious.
I also give credit to the director, Ardolino, because I could see someone being like, enough with the smiles. It's a little creepy. It's a little creepy. It's a little creepy.
Giggling.
She is smiling in every single scene. It is her face must have fucking hurt.
It must have.
At the end of the day.
Must have.
But I will say, so I read something interesting is that she took, her inspiration was Mary Hart from Entertainment Tonight.
Oh my gosh.
That Mary Hart would just smile no matter what the story was about. This huge, huge smile.
Oh my gosh.
So she was constantly inspiring herself to smile like Mary Hart.
She's hilarious.
So
she was her dancing, everything about her just made me just feel so much joy inside.
Reno must be bursting with sin. That's so good. They were so excited, like the stories. It's like, we had this hooker, Buckwheat Bertha, and she could. It's like so funny. And they were just like hanging on her every word.
Oh my gosh. The piano player also made me laugh. The piano player,
Alma,
she was cracking me up. Yeah,
loved her.
She just, again, very joyful. That's one of the things I really liked about this movie too, is you have this church filled with nuns, and none of them, aside from maybe, Mother Superior, none of them were like stodgy. They were all sort of up for it. They all have a nice outlook on life. They all seem to have their own kind of distinct personalities. Yeah. I kind of liked that.
They were not. They were really pretty welcoming, with the exception of they were
very
just like,
welcoming.
And I think they were constantly reminded of their vows of like helping the community, helping people in need, and you feel that, and so it's like, it's a very nice vibe.
Right, and you find out that they haven't really been able to leave the church because Mother Superior was nervous.
Yeah,
they were. She was, fearful of them. And when Dolores ends up, I don't know, did she create this program or just suggested it or whatever? When it started happening, they really felt a lot of joy and like purpose, and you felt that. You felt like that. And it wasn't just the music; it was really just like helping the community and everything too.
One thing I liked about the relationship between Mother Superior to that point and Dolores is the moments when Dolores finds herself responsible for those nuns, like when they sneak out with her, or even in Reno with the thing. She has to slip into Dolores has to slip into a managerial role.
Yes,
and I think what that does is it gives her more respect for Mother Superior. And I think, so I find the story to be like really, really well written, really well done, where they start appreciating each other.
Yes.
It's like, wow, Dolores is really going out in the community and making a difference, and Mother Superior appreciates that. And then you have Whoopi Goldberg's character really managing the nuns and knowing they can get too excited sometimes.
Sure.
And they can run around and they get a little lost or like get too involved. But I think that's why I feel like when they do hug at the end, when they do reconcile, it feels very earned.
Yes.
And I love that.
I agree with everything you just said.
Thank you.
Yes.
You want to talk about Mary Robert? Is she in your
I do have that note. I thought that conversation with Sister Mary Margaret. Mary Robert.
Mary Roberts, yeah.
Was so sweet. I thought it was
her
really
and Dolores.
Yeah, when she went to her
Yes.
room and she was just talking about how she just feels like there's something else inside her and all that. That was really sweet.
Did you get any vibes of any kind?
Oh, you thinking lesbian? I didn't really get those vibes,
You didn't.
but I can see why you would feel that
So
way.
I went on Letterboxd because
Oh.
I had my little feelings about it, and I am not alone. This
Interesting.
never occurred to me in my 20s, but now I wondered if that thing inside of her, besides her voice,
Right.
is just identifying feelings. The way she looks at Dolores is like kind of loving, a little bit of
Oh,
unrequited love.
interesting.
When you watch it through that I say lens, but through that lens, like you're like, oh yeah, I can see that, because as you know, I had to watch it again. So then I was like, let me watch it with that, and she's in so much admiration of
Mhm.
Dolores that I wonder if it's maybe a little bit more.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I
when
could
she's
see
like,
it.
"Do you
I could
ever
see
feel
it.
like you have something inside of you?" and all that kind of stuff. But I like to, but shocker, she's not really singing.
Oh,
It's
no
not her
kidding.
voice. This entire time,
Wow.
I just found that out. The name of the singer.
Wow,
is
that's impressive.
Andrea Robinson. But the voice is really good. It feels like something she actually could sound like.
Yeah.
And the lip syncing is phenomenal.
It's phenomenal. I never
completely
in a million
believed
years
she was really singing.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep, I believed as well. One little negative
Sure.
was with the cop. He's sitting in the station and he's like, oh wait, was it in the station? Was it in the station? I forget where it was. But he was like super cocky. Oh no, with Harvey Keitel's.
So stupid.
So cocky.
But also stupid.
Oh yeah, we'll see you in court. I think it's going to be different this time. I'm like, what are you doing?
You went through all this trouble.
I know.
Putting this lounge singer in a convent, and now you're going up and being cocky.
Yeah.
It was the dumbest thing
really
you could have done,
dumb.
because it obviously made Harvey Keitel's character start thinking like, what does he know that I don't?
Right.
And hey guys, have you tracked down Dolores yet?
Right. Didn't even think about it.
One and one together. Why did he do that?
Yeah, I don't
know.
And
also, let's talk about the cop. He may have been my least favorite part.
I used to like him a lot more, but yes, I agree.
Because he can see through walls now? And if he can, why did he wait so long to shoot him?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he had sweat on his forehead, but like the bullet breaks through the glass. How can he see? Maybe I missed something.
It seemed very irresponsible to just be shooting that way.
His arm was so close to Dolores. I mean, that's like a marksman shot.
Yeah.
And she does say, well, I'm glad you're a better shot than you are a protector. Because, hey, why did it take him so long to get places?
Yeah.
Everyone else, the nuns beat him.
All of the nuns. They didn't have any kind of, yeah.
The nuns beat the cop to the location.
Yep.
That's messed up.
It is messed up. Yep.
Oh my God. Mary Lazarus, played by Mary Wilkes. I think it's safe to say, but we have a revisit planned for Postcards from the Edge. Mary Wilkes plays the grandmother in Postcards from the Edge.
Yes.
Mary Wilkes, for anyone who enjoys the movie White Christmas, Carl and I watch White Christmas every Christmas.
Aww.
And she plays the innkeeper sort of manager of the place. And she looks exactly the same.
She has never changed.
She always looks
she has never changed.
The same age. But I loved her. We can't leave it to we can't leave it to the feds. Oh my God, she's just so wise.
Well, it's what I love. Like I said, like all the different nuns, they all have distinct personalities. They're so fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like you want to hang out with them.
There's one nun though that always creeped me out, and it still holds true. The nun is very tiny and very white.
Mm-hmm. I think I know who you're talking about. Short, yeah, like she was in the front.
Yeah,
I think I know who you're talking about.
So the one standout line that she sings is, "I gave my God my word of honor." That's her one single line, and I still find her creepy. And I don't know why. Like the voice doesn't match her face. Her makeup isn't quite right. Like there's like a real harshness to her face. that doesn't feel. I mean, it's really funny because I say this, and yet I went to parochial school for the first 3 grades. You know the story, Christina.
Yes.
I was once slapped by a nun so hard in the face that I fell off my chair. And
here, let me reenact that for you,
Christina, please.
Sorry. If I didn't have my book in my hand, I could have made that a lot realistic. Wait. Let's try it again. Right, ready?
No, don't. Oh.
You should have fallen off your chair.
I should have fallen off my chair. So,
brother.
But I'll tell you, but like the nuns in that school were pretty abusive.
So maybe she reminds you of that nun, right?
Maybe she does. Maybe it's a little bit of PTSD.
Yeah, I could see that. I thought it was really strange when they were like asking Dolores, "Are you a soprano or an alto?" And she's like, "Oh, whatever." Like, don't you know if you're a soprano or an alto? You're in the biz. But it could have just been that she was just apathetic.
Yeah, maybe because she knew how bad they were. She's like, "Oh no, we need to."
Doesn't really matter.
She's like, "It doesn't matter. This is not the goal." She's like, "I'm not the one who needs the singing instructions here."
Oh my gosh,
her facial expressions are amazing too.
She's so good. I always forget how good she is.
I know.
Now this is our 3rd Whoopi movie. We did Color Purple and Ghost.
Yeah.
And and this is it. And she's excellent in all of them.
She really is. She's amazing.
She's a really good actress. The community outreach stuff I thought was great. I thought it was just fun. And
wait, which one? Sorry.
The community outreach.
Oh yeah, the montage. That montage is fun. Yeah. So my next note is the conversation where like that you talked about before, where she's like, "I'm a relic and I've misplaced my tambourine."
Yes.
All that stuff. But before that, there's the vote. And Maggie Smith is like,
so confident. She's so confident.
And Whoopi's like, "A vote?" And you can tell by Dolores' face that she feels bad because she knows she's going to lose this. And she doesn't want to embarrass her.
Right.
But she's like, "Okay." And she's like, "All those in favor of," whatever. And then she goes, and like one nun raises her hand, she goes like, "All those for a more worldly program, however inappropriate." Oh, it's good.
Oh my God. I wrote, so after the fact, you find out that she's going to quit.
Right.
After that scene, you find out that she's going to quit. And I really, really, really love the scene with her and Dolores when she tells her this. Mm-hmm. And it really brought a perspective to her. And all I was thinking was, what a sore loser. I was so annoyed at her, and I was like, I really liked you up until this moment, but the fact that she's leaving and she just felt she was just like such a sore loser. And I loved Dolores' speech to her. I felt like it was very, like, she had some really valid points and she was very inspirational. Mm-hmm. And I guess it made sense that she didn't change her mind from that. But at the same time, I was like, I thought you were great, and now I feel like you're just pouting.
I took it as like the icing on the cake. I took it as like, here's the straw, because now I only had one nun that supports me. That's really rough, and that's
she's out on the ledge by herself. That's why
Dolores, was like, "Oh God, please don't do the vote." And then she's like, just seeing all the changes, and like they were able to fix the roof and all these things. Yeah. Like, and she's like, "Oh my God, I never would have done any of this if Dolores was
right." And maybe she just feels like not needed anymore and all that.
Yep. Let's see.
I thought they were pretty quick to find that police mole.
Here's the leak, boys. Plug him up. He didn't say anything.
He said nothing.
He punched him in the fucking face.
All he did was have the envelope. He didn't do anything.
He doesn't know.
I mean, he knew, but he didn't know that he knew.
Exactly. He's like,
he just handed it to the wrong person.
I left the folder on his desk. He goes and punches him out. It's like, wait a minute, you don't even know.
No.
How do you know? Also, he had to dig through that folder to see that donation.
Right.
Beyond that, yes, the mole was pretty quick to discover, but that was quite also really quick for the mole. Like, how did he put 2 and 2 together real fast? It's like all he saw was a donation to a church. Oh, that's where Dolores is. Yeah. It's like, what?
And hello, they're reaching out for donations to everybody. Why wouldn't the police department donate to the church?
I need to sign off on these payments. Oh, okay. This one for a church? Yeah, that's where she is.
That was such a weak. It made no sense at all.
That was like, we need to expedite this story a little bit.
Well, I don't even understand why they had to even have a police mole. Like, why couldn't the slugs see her in the background on the news?
Yeah.
And there was so many different ways they could have discovered she was there.
Yeah. Vince is very connected. He knows a lot of people. Like, it could have been like, yeah, they went to a church and he's like, wow, she looks really familiar.
She was on the news.
I know.
She's a black nun.
They did call her up, but then she picked up the kid to block her face. Yeah. But she's the
but
she's
you
the
can
black
tell
nun
it's her.
among a million white nuns. I did love when, so jumping from that, she's like, Sister Mary Roberts, like, what if I forget the words? She's like, you're going straight to hell.
Yeah, I love that. That's so funny. I love that too. I love the way that the nuns came to her rescue with the pilot.
That was really, yeah.
I was just cracking up.
But do they all fit in the helicopter?
That seems a little unlikely. But it was just, I thought it was just so funny. Like, please, God, forgive this man for not listening and helping us in our hour of need. Yeah. Please do not let him burn in hell. Like, and how they're just so creepy.
Yeah. I did, when Vince ever hit her with the paper in the head, and he's like, waster. I was like, ooh. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did laugh. I thought it was a total movie moment, of course, but when she punches them both in the balls at the same time, cute. That's total movie moment. I did right. Yeah, did all the nuns fit in the chopper? That seems unlikely. And then I absolutely loved, and I thought it was brilliant. And not only was it funny, it was effective and smart. Mm-hmm. When all the nuns split up in the casino.
Yes.
So they didn't know who to chase. It was great.
That was great. Really great. And I loved that she is pretending that she is all religious now. Yep. It's like, amen. And they're like, I can't kill a nun.
2 words for you, Vince. Mary Clarence. Bless you.
Yeah, they're great.
Loved
so
that.
Good.
Loved
so
that.
Good.
And I just love the hug so much between Mother Superior and Sister Mary Clarence.
It was lovely.
Lovely. Really sweet.
Had you ever seen Sister Act 2?
So funny you mentioned that. So I watched this on Disney Plus, and it is followed right up naturally by Sister Act Part 2. I tried watching that movie years ago, and I couldn't get through it. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, you know what? Once again, it's one of those movies that has Part 2 has a huge cult following because Lauryn Hill's in it.
Oh,
Lauryn Hill's in it. Some other people, and so
and Whoopi's in it.
Whoopi's in it.
Is Kathy and Jimmy in it?
Kathy and Jimmy's in it. Sister Mary Robert. Kathy and Jimmy has a bigger role in this, and then Maggie Smith has a much smaller role. Mm-hmm. But it's unfortunate. Like, it just isn't funny.
Yeah.
It feels almost like a Christmas movie in some ways. It's like a very sweet movie. It's only nice things happen.
Yeah.
But I still have half hour to go. But I didn't laugh once. Ooh. I mean, you like seeing the characters again, but it's not funny. There's one scene where, like, did you see it?
No.
So she has to teach this group of like inner city kids who don't want to learn, and they beg her to come back to go back undercover, so to speak,
right?
To pretend to be a nun, because the only thing the kids are interested in is music, and they don't want to learn anything else. So she goes there and she whips the kids into shape, blah blah blah. But there's no real villain except for, like, I think it's James Coburn, but it doesn't feel like a very formidable villain. Yeah. Like, it's no real tension. It's a sweet movie, but the kids are supposed to be like bad, like real troublemakers. The worst thing they did, they put glue on her chair. So there's a very long scene where she's like going through the school looking for help while she's stuck to the chair. It's like, but it's not even funny. Like, I didn't laugh.
That's
once.
Too bad. That's unfortunate.
So I can't recommend it.
Just kind of curious about that. Was there a Sister Act 3?
They're talking about making one.
Oh,
but Whoopi doesn't want to. She originally didn't want to because she's like, a lot of these nuns have passed away. A lot of these these women have passed away. She wouldn't really feel right. But she's like, depending on how what the story could be,
right,
she might be interested. Believe it or not, it's on my notes.
That's all my notes too.
Oh my God. And I was pissed about that. I just didn't like that shooting at the end when he shoots him in the arm. Like that, none of that made sense to me.
No, I agree.
And it's that talking killer thing where he takes way too long to shoot her. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I was like, holy shit, he's really going to kill her in front of all these nuns?
My God.
It's crazy.
This is like ex-lover.
I know. Big question. More, less, about the same?
I am going to say it was about the same.
Oh, well, it's definitely more for me because I have Maggie Smith now. in this.
Oh yeah, I did like. I mean, I really liked it. I liked it before. I just don't. I don't know if it brought anything new to
Okay,
me.
that's fair.
But I did. I really enjoyed it. I loved Maggie Smith. I loved Kathy and Jimmy, and Whoopi's was fantastic.
Budget $31 million. It made $231 million.
Crazy.
Whoopi Goldberg won the American Comedy Award, the Kids' Choice Award, and the NAACP Image Award that year for Sister Act. And it was nominated for 2 Golden Globes for Best Comedy Movie and Best Comedic Actress for Whoopi Goldberg. This is interesting because we talked about... You okay, Christina?
Sorry.
We talked about postcards that we're going to be revisiting that soon, in a couple weeks, I guess. And Carrie Fisher was brought in. So originally it was...
Interesting.
The screenwriter was Paul Rudnick. He wrote it for Bette Midler. When Bette Midler didn't want to do it, some of the jokes and the humor weren't quite aligned with like Whoopi Goldberg's personality. So they brought in Carrie Fisher and Robert Harling from Steel Magnolias.
Oh my gosh.
To work up the script out so it fit Whoopi a little bit better.
Oh, good for them.
And that's all my notes, but I have a match game.
I also have a match game. Would you like to go first?
I will, and you're not going to like it.
Okay.
Sister Mary Robert was clearly sexually obsessed with Dolores Van Cartier.
Okay.
In a deleted scene from Sister Act, she breaks into Dolores's room and fondles herself with Dolores's blank.
I have 2 choices here. Ding.
Ding. In a deleted scene, Sister Mary Robert breaks into Dolores's room and fondles herself with Dolores's...
rosary beads.
Yeah, rosary beads! They could have been Bible.
I was going to say habit.
Habit, yeah.
Yeah. I should have said her bad habit.
It should have been like Dolores.
Well, oh my
Dolores's body.
Her microphone that she thought it was, but it was really not a microphone.
Christina, why did you make it dirtier? This is a PG movie.
She's fondling herself with rosary beads. How much dirtier do you want?
Well, friends, how did you watch it, by the way?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh my God. Your match game.
I'm so done with you. I'm going first next time because you've done that to me before.
Christine, did you learn
clearly you don't give a shit about my match game question.
Nothing from Sister Act. It's about forgiveness.
Forgive this. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Dolores had a talent, as we know, of turning pop songs into songs of worship.
Or the other way around. Oh, no, you're right. Sorry. Oh. Oh my God, I'm sorry.
All right. Are you quite finished?
Yes, you're right.
This is the last episode of Old Roommates, in case anyone was interested.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I haven't had my coffee yet.
Are you ready?
Yes.
You're having a cup of coffee after this
I don't know
episode.
what's wrong with me. I don't know what's wrong.
I'll give you a list later.
Let's hear it, Christina.
Dolores had a talent of turning pop songs into songs of worship. But she crossed the line when she converted I Touch Myself to blank.
Oh, this is a good answer.
I'll be the judge of that. All right, Dolores. She had that talent of turning pop songs into songs of worship. She crossed the line when she converted I Touch Myself to
I Bless Myself.
I Bless Myself too! Yay.
I want you to bless me.
All right.
When I'm on my knees, I want you.
Shut up. You know what?
Isn't that how it goes?
This is a song of worship.
Well, on your knees, you're praying.
Actually, it wouldn't be a bad idea.
Let's make the song right now.
All right, friends. That, my friends, was Sister
How did you
Act.
watch it?
I rented it from the library.
Okay. Any deleted scenes? Any?
No.
Nothing. Damn. Okay.
No, it was from the 90s.
Yeah. All right.
That was Sister Act.
Bless you. And that's it for us and for this episode of Old Roommates.
Thank you for listening. Please remember to follow us on Instagram or YouTube, where we have our episodes as well as a little extra.
And if you have any questions about our show, any suggestions for movies we could revisit, reach out to us at oldroommatespod@gmail.com.
Thanks again for listening.
This is Brian.
And this is Christina. Until next time.